You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodriguez for Black and White Sports 2. Well, I don't think there's any question. There's not even a debate that the best leader of men or leader of women in sports at this time that is known as either a president or a commissioner is one Dana White. The UFC president, of course, is always unapologetic about, well, pretty much anything that happens. Anything that his fighters say, he just comes out and says, nah, I don't even say anything to them. Not going to say anything to them. If they choose to make comments about comments that they made or apologize or any of that, that's on them, but it's not because any kind of backlash grabbed me and told me as a president, hey, guys, you're going to have to go out there and bend the knees to this woke mob that is so outraged. And we know, look, I mean, Dana White's got a documentary coming about the media attacking him and just exposing what the media tried to do to the UFC and to him during COVID, because the UFC was the one sports entity out there that said, no, we're going to keep fighting during the pandemic. And look, it was a great business calculation by Dana White, because the UFC, we thought the UFC was big, but it absolutely exploded. And there's numbers out there that shows an amazing amount of growth out of the UFC during the pandemic, because Dana White said, meh, we're going to fight. I don't care what the politicians say. We'll figure it out. Well, a couple of his fighters over the weekend at UFC 293 went out and used the F word, and I'm not talking about the four-letter word. I'm talking about the F-gots. And you know, F-gots will get your ass canceled because of all the assholes that are outraged. Oh, crying meme. You know that one. Well, Dana White does what he does best. He went out there and said, nah. I mean, he just body bags the media and says, nah, not going to say anything to them. If they say something, that is totally their prerogative. And one of his fighters, they did it. In fact, I think both fighters came out and apologized for using F-gots. And, but it wasn't at the request of Dana White, because frankly, he lets his fighters say whatever in the hell they want. And he doesn't pile in. He doesn't buy in. And we appreciate Dana White for that. So, and the other thing is, he's not afraid to host President Trump at one of his events. We see Trump at a lot of events, and him and Dana are very close, because when nobody wanted to allow what so many promoters and institutions were referring to as human cockfighting at one point, nobody wanted to host. Trump said, nah, come on down, bring your guys in. Let's watch them fight. And that was pretty cool. This is Outkick, and we've got Dana's audio, which is really damn good. UFC President Dana White doesn't appear interested in piling on two fighters who used inappropriate language on the mic. Charles Radke and Manel Kape, both called people F-gots after UFC 293 fights, and as you expect, people on the internet were livid. Oh my goodness. Radke's rant was especially explicit and contained a lot more than just one slur. He later apologized for his conduct. While many on the internet might want to cancel Radke and Kape, I apologize if I effed up your name. Their boss isn't interested in getting in on the action. Dana White shared some important thoughts about mistakes, accepting responsibility, and move on. And there is video to this, so we're just gonna play the shit. This is Combat Sports Today. Let's make sure they get credit.
Flying around a little bit tonight. I think these guys get a little excited. And, you know, you make bad mistakes. Radke did the same thing, you know, and you know me. We didn't run over to him and say, you better apologize and you better. He did that on his own. You know, when he got back stage, he was embarrassed and, you know, got caught up in the moment. And did you guys talk to him tonight? No. So he felt like he was treated like shit and, you know, all that stuff. And, you know, got emotional and whatever reason. We make mistakes. I am not holier than thou either. So we've all been in positions where we've made mistakes. And like I always say, it's how you recover from it and how you carry yourself after you make the mistake. And he came out and apologized on his own free will. We didn't tell him to do anything. And the fact that he did that means he means it. You know, I don't make anybody apologize for anything. You do what you want. You're grown men and women. You know, you're able to say whatever you want. He did it. He came back. He was embarrassed, and he apologized. So,
my favorite part is this.
And he came out and apologized on his own free will. We didn't tell him to do anything, and the fact that he did that means he means it. You know, I don't make anybody apologize for anything. You do what you want.
That's my favorite part. We don't make anybody apologize for anything. And that's been Dana's MO for a long time. We know that's how Dana handles these situations. You know, there was a lot of fire a while back around one of his fighters, I believe, dropped some N-bombs in a post-fight press conference. And by the way, if you ain't seen Sean Strickland, my God, he won the title. If you haven't seen his post-fight comments, you might want to go check those out too. Because as always, Sean Strickland did not disappoint at all. By the way, he said, build a fucking wall. That's great. But that's how Dana rolls. Look, Dana's got plenty of liberal fighters that fight for him too. All right? Guys that are on the other side of the political coin. Dana don't tell them how to act and what to say either. And that's the way it's supposed to be. We know if this was Major League Baseball, if this was the NFL, Black National Anthem, if this was NHL, if this was NASCAR. I can't believe I got to say NASCAR. I can't believe I got to say MLB. But if it was any of those limp dick commissioners, there would be fines, there would be suspensions, there would be somebody have to call a press conference. They'd have to march somebody out there. Team presidents, general managers would have to come in, head coaches. It would become this massive deal. But when you got a team president like Dana White, you just come out and say, you know me, I'm not telling them to say shit. They'll say what they want to say. If they feel bad for it, they'll apologize. If they don't, they won't. But I don't tell my fighters what to say and how to feel. My God, can we get somebody like this running the NFL, please, before that damn league is destroyed? For crying out loud. I mean, it's getting close now. NASCAR could use another commissioner / president, a lot like Dana White. Kind of wonder at some point, is Dana going to run WWE? I don't know. We know it's all owned now by the same entity, yada, yada, yada. I actually saw some woke son of a bitch the other day on Twitter say that the WWE Attitude Era was the worst era ever because they were butthurt. Does anybody remember? I think it was Stacy Keibler and Vince McMahon, and she put her legs up, and Vince was... It's one of the greatest, funniest things we ever saw during a promo, during a skit that Vince McMahon ever did. And he's like, you know, because Vince carried on about women back in the day. It was one of the funniest things, and some woke on Twitter was like, oh my God, the WWE era was the worst ever. Hell no. That was the most entertaining, badass shit that we ever had in pro wrestling. God, I wish it would come back. Crying out loud. Tell me what you think. I like Dana White. We need like 5 more of them. Can we replicate them and just assign them to the other sports before they're all dog shit? Some already are ruined. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.